Hola, girls. Anybody up for some water skiing?
I was interested in Total Overdose the moment G-Man Lives covered it. Never knew it existed up until that point. So, once I had the money laying around for it, I got the game and, well, it's worse than G-Man Lives made it out to be.
Ramiro, you got big balls, but no brain. Kill him, boys!
From the lack of soul and the sheer amount of repetition to game-breaking bugs, this game feels like a Bethesda game or something from Running with Scissors outside of Postal 2. Total Overdose was boring since the start and only became more of a chore up until I gave up, as the glitches and bugs got so bad it just wasn't worth having a stroke over getting so pissed off at a terrible game.
Okay, girls, shout in your bazookas!
So what is Total Overdose? It's a third-person shooter set in Mexico, where you play as 3 characters, but only 2 for a short bit for story and tutorial purposes, before only playing as the most generic douchebag from the early 2000s named... well, I can't remember, nor want to. He's that generic. A total asshole too. But not a memorable, likable asshole akin to Frank West, the Postal Dude, or Duke Nukem.
Gentlemen, I'm gonna make you an offer you can't refuse.
You're in an open-world sandbox of sorts, shooting up gangbangers and drug lords, as well as police and military. Basically, most of Mexico is in your sights.
Spicy move!
You can drive, walk, shoot, and get bored within 5 seconds just like I did. That is what Total Overdose is.
Enough talk! Say hello to my balls!
So, what's the story? You start out as a legendary asshole who works for the America DEA, blowing up cartel shit, and then you get betrayed.
Should have done that job blindfold. Would have been more of a challenge that way.
You've always been fast, Ernesto, but maybe you should try exercising your brain sometimes. Papa Muerte thanks you for your...
Then you play as the good son for one mission, learning more about the gameplay, and then you get SpongeBobbed. Now, you finally, for the rest of the game, play as the bad son. The sons are twins. But who the fuck cares? Your entire goal is to avenge your father. Yeah, stupid and boring, I know. But that's not all. You'll meet several generic stereotypical characters along the way. The coked up Mexican guy.
Hey, amigo. Ready for the ride of your life?
Please tell me this isn't happening.
Relax, hombre. Or Lucy and I will take you into the sky.
I thought for a minute there you were stoned. And you were flying the plane.
Salta, amigo! Jump!
Is there anything I should know before I jump?
See? Put on the parachute and pull the string!
Thanks a lot, pal.
The generic hot Latina who's got 0 personality.
Okay, it's all clear. Are you ready for some action?
Sure, I thought you'd never ask.
The generic fat drug lord.
So, this is the man I keep hearing about, huh? I will shake your hand, but mine is covered in blood.
I'm a vegetarian.
The even fatter generic drug lord.
Hey, mister, that's rude. Talking about my chorizo in front of these girls.
Just small talk, pal.
It's just boring and nothing memorable at all. Even the missions themselves feel like something straight out of Saints Row the Third.
Ramiro.
Carry on.
When it comes to how this game controls, it's a mixed bag of keyboard and mouse. Even the UI is a pain as you click around with your mouse, but to confirm and back out you use enter and backspace. Yeah. Then, in game, you got your traditional early 2000s third-person shooter setup.
Is this going anywhere?
Pardon me?
I mean, we're into my lunch hour now.
No controller support whatsoever though. Everything functions as you'd expect, but the non-stop pop-ups, especially early on with tutorials, you'll notice you need to mash the spacebar a few times to get rid of the pop-up box. Then other times it works with just hitting the spacebar once. I tried another keyboard to see if my spacebar was starting to give, but no, it's just a little weird of a game. Nothing unusual for the time.
Angel, incoming!
That was close.
You can say that again. Nearly took a big piece of meat out of it, and I like that piece.
As you could tell from the gameplay, yes, it is indeed a Max Payne clone, cause of course it is. Max Payne was kind of a standard for third-person shooters for a bit, before Resident Evil 4 really took things over. Even to this day, everyone is using the Resident Evil 4 format for third-person games. For better and for worse. So in Total Overdose, you spend a lot of time diving around in slow motion to try and get an edge on loads of enemies that spawn in all around you, cause in this game, nothing is balanced. Then the issues kick in. On top of non-stop slow motion, you'll also be dealing with running low on ammo for every weapon in the game. At some points, enemies become so spongy that you'll be forced to use your fists or whatever melee weapon you picked up. And if you already have a melee weapon, it'll get replaced by the next one you pick up. Stupid, I know, which leads to moments like this occurring quite often. Besides every generic modern day firearm like handgun, revolver, magnum, shotgun, Uzi, rocket launcher, Molotov, grenade, and AK-47, you also have power-ups to use in combat, but they're so useless. I never used them outside of a few times, mostly during boss fights or towards the end of the game, when enemies are so overpowered you'll be abusing the rewind feature.
Huracan! Ah!
While I never bothered to use every single power-up, I did try the one where you spray and pray.
You can't kill me. I'm American. Huracan! Ah! Dr. Jones, I presume?
Then there's another that's just a golden gun with a more powerful shot for a few short seconds. Not effective against bosses, but very effective against OnlyFans bitches.
Boom! Headshot!
I wonder if Asmongold dated that one. Anyways, then there was the Bull power-up, where you run around aimlessly doing little damage to anyone you run into. It's impossible to control, and you have to wait it out. So, you can be easily killed while using this one. Such a stupid power-up.
For someone named after a mountain, you are one hell of a tiny bastard. Hey, Toto!
Then finally I tried the spawning of a melee Mexican wrestler, I guess, who didn't do much to help me defeat a boss.
See you at the Day of the Dead, bastardos.
These power-ups don't always work too, as the game tends to glitch out, But I'll save that for the end of the review. For now, we gotta keep talking about the combat.
Spicy move!
Enemies are just so spongy at times. There's like an RNG system in place. Sometimes they die in one hit, sometimes it takes several magazines from your dual pistols to kill a single enemy. What is this, Blood 2?
Die, Gringo!
Then, there's time they can survive several Molotov cocktails, but in turn, you die quicker than the American dream for anyone born after the year 1986.
Scud. That's good shit right there. I'm gonna need every last drop of this.
There's so many moments during the game I was struggling to keep my ammo stocked, and since there's no way to buy stuff before missions as there's no currency system, safe house, garages, player-owned vehicles, or stores.
Excuse me, what?
You're just stuck dealing with whatever you can pick up from dead bodies or whatever's laying around the environment. Thankfully, there's a lot of save points scattered around the world. Even during missions and in the middle of combat, you can save at these things.
That's good.
But what good are they when you'll still be dealing with explosive spamming spongy gangbangers while storming a mansion full of bikini-clad chicks carrying big-ass guns?
Ooh, that's bad.
Most of the time during missions, you'll be running around on foot. Aside of them, however, you're going to need wheels to get around all the required side activities you need to complete in order to play the next story mission.
Oh, shit!
Yep, they pulled a Saints Row, and I hated it there, and I hate it even more here. So, in Total Overdose's idea of side activities are the absolute worst. But I'll save those for later. We need to talk about vehicles.
Hold on there, kid. It ain't over till it's over.
Oh, right. Don't tell me. Just one more thing. Well, one or two. Right, that's pretty funny.
They control like ass. They're very fragile, and the roads are too small with the vehicles being so unnaturally huge. Like, what kind of art style is this? This isn't style. This is fucking dog shit.
Screw you.
They're just so clunky and yet faulty in control. The cars don't know if they want to be floaty or tankish at times. It's like Cyber Scam 2020.
The wisecracks, meathead.
They'll easily blow up too, so don't be using them when enemies come swarming in, or else you'll be gonzo. Basically, outside of story missions, you can use cars to get around and that's it. You can't even pull off any drive-bys. Yep. A GTA/Max Payne clone where you can't even do the most basic of things. Surprise, surprise.
It's my lucky day. Damn!
Then there's the sheer amount of explosive barrels. I can see where CDPR got the idea for Cyber Scam 2020, one of the worst games of all time despite what fanboys and normies say. They also tell you meth isn't bad for you, so never listen to a CDPR fan.
Meth McFarland!
Anyways, you got so many explosive barrels littering the world in all mission locations, so get ready to die a lot from them.
Oh god, I hate my life.
Oh, but don't worry, the enemies are so spongy, they can survive a barrel blast alongside several shotgun blasts. What a piss poorly designed game.
You ain't lying.
As stated earlier, you have a rewind feature. Now any game that features this is a terrible game, because instead of making a balanced fun game, they just throw shit at the wall, and you'll just rewind non-stop to avoid it. What creative and intelligent individuals that made this game. They're truly geniuses, really.
I'm sensing a little sarcasm.
It gets worse the further into the game you get. Once you're fighting military and police, your stock of 9 max will go down to 0 if you don't abuse the adrenaline system for slow motion. But even then, your enemies are not inaccurate in adrenaline mode, so what's the point of slow-mo when it benefits the AI too?
Bullshit!
More problems occur when you start doing story missions and side activities, realizing it's just the same thing over and 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 over again. There's no variety at all. You just shoot everything and reach the checkpoint, rinse and repeat, 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 rinse and repeat. The only time things finally change up is as each story mission goes by, enemies become more spongy and start using more and more explosives. So actually, there is variety, just not where it should count is all.
I'd buy that for $1.
They also tend to take forever due to a mix of needing to take alternative routes to get around to gates just to blow up fertilizer towers, or you need to zip line down a building, which takes forever, or you have to slowly run far to your next objective because there's no vehicles to speed things up. But of course, you got locked doors that need keys as well. Oh man, they're just doing everything to piss me the fuck off right now.
Code blue. Code blue.
Then there's moments during missions where a timer appears, giving you almost no chance to react in time. One section I got stuck on for a minute because of the terrible level design. I couldn't figure out where to get past the electrical part of a meat processing plant. Then there's the part where you need to run towards a door before it closes while jumping over a conveyor belt and dodging non-stop gunfire.
Spicy move!
But one that sucked the most was the ship exploding part early on in the game. I died once and had to redo a good portion of the mission all over again. Of course, what would a 2000s video game be without a mandatory turret section? I mean, the only other thing missing is the main character having amnesia.
You know it, I know it, everybody knows it. There it is.
Thankfully, I only encountered one of these, but that's still one too many. No one likes these things. We hated them as kids, and we hate them now as nearing middle-aged adults reminiscing about the greatness of Xbox 360 Call of Duty lobbies.
We are so old.
It's still full of all the bullshit you'd expect from a turret section. You got the spongy vehicles that never die till they take enough damage out of your vehicle or get close enough where the explosion from their death damages you, or the fact your bullets fly everywhere. But then again, that's totally in character for Total Overdose.
Clear the road!
Fly away.
Your driver even takes the worst routes along the way to ensure there's no even terrain, so your aim is thrown off constantly. But to put the cherry on top, they speed up whenever there's a roadblock, so you're less likely to clear the way in time. Ah yes, turret sections. This shit should be illegal.
Yep.
Once you start roaming the world, you'll find it's pretty empty. Now, this isn't just an accurate depiction of how lifeless and boring Mexico is, it's also the fact that developers just tacked on the open world as a whole, so enjoy driving around with nothing going on, and also, nothing to do.
You know, I don't want to be here, I'm going to go somewhere else.
Outside of side activities and story missions, there's nothing to do. The world is lifeless and empty. You can't go into majority of buildings. There's no stores, strip clubs, brothels, donkey shows, bars, safe houses, you name it. Anything you would expect to be in a GTA clone isn't here.
It's just bad.
Your minimap/radar is useless, as there's no details on it. You can't even tell if there's any roads around you. You just follow it, hoping it will lead you to your objective or to any enemies standing around. There's also no overview map like in Grand Theft Auto or Saints Row either.
Oh my god. What the heck? Who the fuck was this for? They forgot. Maybe it's undecided because the developers haven't figured it out.
Therefore, you'll always get lost so easily. Even after playing for hours, you won't know where to go, as there's streets that lead to dead ends you won't notice till you're all the way down the road. It's a maze worse than the classic Windows screensaver.
Pointless nostalgia.
Now, replace that with gray infrastructure and tons of trash, with the smell of spilled tequila, then you got Total Overdose's world. It's just a disaster level design wise. I mean, I thought The Godfather 2 had terrible level design. This game is a million times worse. It's up there with Grand Theft Auto 5 in terms of terrible design layout.
Not so good, huh? Not so good.
As you explore the world, you'll find it segmented and not a true open world. Nope, this game is hub world based. And it's very small, so despite it being a mess layout wise, you won't get far without a loading screen popping up. Then, there's nothing to do besides drive to the nearest side activity before heading off to the nearest story mission. Honestly, why even include an open world at all? What a waste of time they could have put towards making the game actually good.
Based.
So yeah, side activities. They're mandatory. So, here's a couple that I tried before quitting the game. The first side activity I took part in was a burrito stand sabotage. Yeah, it turns out it's used for drugs and not really burritos. So, shoot up a bunch of gang members, blow up the stand, collect the dope, and return to the mission giver. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. I wasn't having any fun with these, especially in the second one I did, where enemies would spawn on balconies, where the railing would protect them from my gunfire. Yep, they can shoot through the railing, but you can't. I was just wasting my ammo. Fuck this shit. The second type of side activity is racing. Yay! But it's nothing special. Surprise, surprise. As all you do is race through checkpoints. Yeah, check points. No actual cars to race against, or anything. Then again, given this game's tiny roads and overly huge vehicles, it wouldn't have worked anyways. So after a single race, I was done with them. It's just not fun when you got nothing to worry about besides a timer. Of course, since it's a shooter, one of the side activities is just shoot every single brain-dead NPC till your checklist is full. These are born given the repetitive nature of Total Overdose, inaccurate weapons, spongy enemies, and bullshit deaths galore. It's just not a fun time. The last type of side activity I bothered with is the dreaded escort missions. Yep. In a game where the AI isn't that bright, your weapons have stormtrooper accuracy most of the time, and you run out of ammo so quickly. The last thing you want to deal with is escorting stupid AI around as they just stand there.
He's just standing there, menacingly.
Thankfully, I only did one of these, but it was enough of a taste to know it's a bad batch and not something street-worthy. This game is so glitchy, I couldn't complete some side activities as the AI spawns in and out of the game, yet appear on the radar. In one side activity, I had to kill everything. Sounds boring and simple, I know. Like the people who made this game. They probably watch CNN and drink herbal tea while playing Scrabble and sweaters on their time off. They sound like those kind of fucking freaks.
I know what you're saying, sir, but if you'll just let me finish the story. Just try and look past the details and see the big picture.
Details? We're talking about endangering the lives of innocent people.
So I failed that side activity over and 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 over again.
Fuck you!
Until about the 5th try, I was able to finally get every enemy to spawn into the world and stay there so I could pump them full of 20 to 30 shotgun blasts to kill them. Hell, it's even worse when you realize your weapons never shoot where you aim them. It's like they're programmed with stormtrooper accuracy. Yet, for the straw that broke the camel's back, and the reason I quit and gave this game its rightful score is how it completely broke towards the end of the game.
Popcorn! Get your red hot popcorn!
All of these glitches just started to get worse and worse over time. Even the AI started to break even more. On top of the lack of balance with the AI using rocket launchers non-stop and spawning in right over behind me after I turn around, it's just a total mess.
Die, gringo! Muere!
Once I got to the escape the jungle mission, everything became so bad I just stopped playing. I mean, how the hell was I supposed to complete the game at this rate when rockets are flying everywhere, enemies respawn non-stop, and my controls and power-ups break? At one point, I get stuck because of a truck blocking the bridge, and I use power-ups to stay alive. Yet, that was a mistake, as it broke the game. I couldn't shoot my guns at all, only melee, while getting killed over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Several minutes later, the power-up screen effect went away, so I assumed I could play normally again. But nope, the entire save was corrupted, and all I could do was melee everything, while I'm being shot up by shotguns, pistols, dual Uzis, rocket launchers, grenades, Molotovs, and more. Fuck this game.
He's only 1 minute.
At the end of the day, Total Overdose is a rightful name for something so gross and dog shit. It's a total overdosed corpse on the streets of Skid Row, a complete and utter waste of money and time. Something that should have never been brought into this world. From its highly repetitive gameplay to the lack of originality and interesting story and characters, the whole game is just a chore of boredom and not worth playing.
Jesus, who's whining now?
You'd be better off getting a colonoscopy with a porcupine covered in sulfuric acid. You'd be better off cannonballing into a pit of king cobras. You'd be better off playing Ride to Hell Retribution.
Thing is, though, I ain't the only one who heard.
I can't believe someone thought this was a good game, a good idea, something with value to be sold for such an outlandish price tag of $6 whole fucking dollars. There's way better quality games out there for that price tag. let alone during a sale even. Go buy System Shock 2, Saints Row 2 with the fan patch, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, Bully Scholarship Edition, or anything else besides this pile of horchata scooped off the sidewalk near a donkey show.
The funny Americano.
Anyways, that's it for this video. See y'all later.